Mahler 8 is a monumental work, hence its nickname, Symphony of 1000.
Well, it's one of the, sort of biggest, most spectacular pieces in the symphonic repertoire.
What I love most is the story of how it came about.
Mahler he's trying to make sense of his life in the universe. He's really trying to understand his place.
He actually wrote it in 1906 during a very fertile summer. He made a lot of very fast progress on it.
When you consider that he's a composer that took his time and revised over and over again, and he reached his zenith of creativity in a piece that was written very quickly, it's an extraordinary accomplishment.
He did not get to premiere until 4 years later, just a few months before he died. It was one of the few premieres of Mahler's that was a success with the public from the very beginning. Many of his symphonies were not understood, not appreciated at the time, but this one, maybe because it's so spectacular and so optimistic, was a hit from the very beginning.
And in fact, it became the grandest symphony that had ever been written, and might be till this day.
Mahler 8 is a groundbreaking work in so many ways. Symphonies were purely instrumental before Beethoven came along with the Ninth Symphony. But the 8th is very different because it is the first time that chorus and singers are used intrinsically throughout the work.
Well, Mahler intentionally wanted this to be a massive production unlike anything else that had been produced, and so he intentionally made it this huge grand scale with multiple choirs and 8 soloists, I believe, and a big orchestra.
It's one of those pieces that's sort of like a Mount Everest for music. You have such a sense of accomplishment. It's such an achievement. It's a great musical statement. It is a piece that has really become associated with big celebrations and marking very special occasions.
Well, it's our centennial season, and as we were planning this season, we wanted to think about works that we wouldn't do in a regular season.
It was a mutual suggestion to do the Mahler 8 because it's a celebration piece, 100 years of orchestra.
This is certainly a work that takes a lot of effort and a lot of coordination, a lot of artistic coordination to put together. Normally, for a week of concerts, we'll have somewhere between 87 and 95 musicians on the stage. For a really big work that involves chorus and an expanded orchestra, say the Verdi Requiem, it might be 275. For this piece, Mahler's 8th Symphony, we will have 437 people on the stage.
Jones Hall stage, the way it's configured right now, isn't quite large enough to fit everybody that we need.
We have to build a stage extension to go out over several rows of seats in the audience. We'll have expanded chorus risers. For a normal chorus week, even a big chorus week, we may have 7, maybe 8 rows of chorus. We will have 12 rows of chorus on the stage above the orchestra for this piece.
So we start with our base, the Houston Symphony Chorus, and then we try to figure out how are we going to augment that. In this, our centennial season, we really felt it was a great opportunity to invite some alumni of the Houston Symphony Chorus. And then we also need boys' choruses. So we've pulled together 2 groups, the Fort Bend Boys Choir of Texas, as well as the Houston Boy Choir. We also have made available to a number of high school students the opportunity for a bit of a mentoring program to be able to work side by side with members of the Houston Symphony Chorus and be able to participate in this sort of once-in-a-lifetime work. We've also drawn from students from the University of Houston and also from the Prairie View A&M College.
I'm used to fairly decent-sized ensembles, maybe 30, 40, and it's an interesting experience just being in a choir in itself that size, but to have so many voices together, that many voices together, it's heavenly, it's out of this world, it's indescribable.
Usually you're singing with 60, 70 instead of 300 singers, and so the overall power of this piece is second to none.
Where I come from, we don't have things like this. To sing with an enormous choir full of prolific voices, that's amazing to me.
We're not really afforded many opportunities like this as high schoolers.
Being with so many people that just absolutely love the music and the knowledge that's in the room and all the hard work and the time finally coming all together is going to be fantastic.
It is a masterwork in the truest sense of the word, being played by one of the best orchestras in the world, sung by world-class choirs and soloists, conducted by one of the finest conductors in the world.
I think Christoph Eschenbach coming back to conduct Mahler 8 in Houston is a big event. And if you're a classical music aficionado, a lover, or even if you're not, you will become one after you hear this piece with the Houston Symphony and Christoph Eschenbach, for sure.
It is a once-in-a-lifetime experience. You're not going to get to see this piece again, probably, in Houston for quite some time.
It's a piece that is rarely done. It's one of those pieces that you may get to see once in a generation.
Well, I've only ever seen it performed once in a lot of years of concert going because it's a very rare event.
I'm the general manager of the Houston Symphony, and I've never seen the piece performed live.
You're never going to see this ever in your life again. You got to come. I'm telling you, it's going to change your life. You're going to think of music in a totally different way.
You will get emotional. You will cry.
It's a very moving experience.
It's the chance to hear it with a great conductor, a great cast, a great orchestra, a great chorus.
It is that coming together of all of these elements at a particular time, at a particular place, and those times are at 7:30 on May 9th and May 10th.
This is something that people just should not miss. They may not get the chance to ever see this again.